Okay, so it is day 10 of my incarceration under the Mental Health Act. I have not yet been served Section 2 papers. I've not been given reasonable access to a mental health advocate. I had a tribunal booked in, but it was cancelled. I've basically been on Tulip Ward, St Anne's Hospital, Blossom Court, Tottenham, for 10 days. There are a number of procedural failings that have been going on here. Firstly, I have no history of poor mental health. I don't have a mental health condition. I have been locked in this institution without access to kind of green spaces. I haven't had my rights explained to me. I have been assaulted 3 different times by ward staff. I'm fine. My window of my room, this is my window, is locked open, and when it rains, all of my things get wet. It's absolutely freezing in my room at night, and I don't have kind of access to bedding at the moment. I am constantly gaslighted by the ward staff. I wrote a letter to my responsible clinician asking for Section 17 leave, which is interesting because I haven't got Section 2 papers. I'm currently being held here illegally in breach of Article 5 of the Convention on Human Rights. The kind of phone numbers of the advocacy service aren't working. I have requested my individual rights through forms and provided my proof of ID. And kind of those forms aren't being kind of passed on to the mental health office. I'm given a kind of litany of excuses about how, you know, for what reason sort of I'm not being allowed out. I've even considered using kind of reasonable force to get out of this ward, but it's set out like a prison, and it's against my moral and ethical outlook. You know, I'm an NHS worker myself, and you know, I don't want to be aggressive because it might be cited as a reason to kind of keep me here as well. It's a kind of untenable position. You know, it's got a bit catch-22 at this point. One flew over the cuckoo's nest kind of thing. You know, this isn't a joke. You know, I've been subject to lots of abuse here on the ward. Yesterday, kind of my room was entered by a fellow inpatient. They stole a number of my things, including my headphones, a number of food items, and my cigarette vapes. Probably, you know, only about £30 worth of stuff, but it's very serious, you know. I don't feel particularly safe There's a lot of aggressive behaviour. The people who are held here are considered a danger to themselves or others. I've never been a danger to myself or others. I feel like there's been a kind of series of abuses of process. I was brought here on the 26th of May and under a false warrant. The warrant in question does not have my name on it. It does not have my address on it. It's for the wrong date, and it's not signed. It's now getting to a stage where, this is affecting my mental health. And I need as much help as I can from any of you who are able to kind of contact the appropriate help, basically. I've actually called the police twice while I've been here, and they've given me kind of a meeting, maybe like a week later. I've been very prepared for my tribunal, and it was cancelled, and there's no rescheduled date. I mean, this is very much medical fascism in the middle of London. I almost can't believe it, So I'm making a request to anybody who hears me. Please do anything within your power to help me. I'm kind of running out of options here. There's not enough food being provided for all of the patients. If you're at the back of the queue, then you don't eat. The hygiene on the ward is absolutely horrific. From bird poo, splattered food, bodily fluids. It really is horrific. So, yeah, free Alex DeVille.